Many of us are in prison, and we don't even know it. I was born and raised in downtown Patterson, in a 4-unit apartment building with bars on the lower half of the windows. And what was ironic about living in this apartment with bars on the windows is that I lived directly across the street from the Passaic County Jail. And I used to tell everyone, I have the best view of the city. But one thing for sure is that I never, ever wanted to end up in that place. Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, I learned years later that you don't have to be in prison to be imprisoned. Many of us are going through life in a mental cell of our own making, with cement made out of hopelessness and bars made out of fear. And it is this mental cell that's holding us back from living the life that we want to live, partly because our potential is incarcerated. Yet many of us, the problem is, have been conditioned to think over the years a certain way, that many of us believe that we can never escape this mental prison that's holding us down. About a month ago, I took my daughter to go see the circus. And because we had VIP passes, we were allowed into a designated area that had a handful of animals for us to see up close. My daughter loved it. As soon as we walked in, we see this huge, beautiful elephant. And my daughter immediately notices that the elephant is tied down by a small rope to a stake. And she asks me, Daddy, how is it that that big elephant can be tied down by that small rope? So I said, honey, ever since that elephant was a baby, it's been tied down. And over the years, it's been conditioned to think that it can't escape. So that by the time it's a huge elephant, it doesn't even try it. It's that mental prison that's holding it down and doesn't allow it to escape. That's how many of us are. We go through our lives in this mental prison of fear, anger, animosity, hopelessness, and that we just don't try to escape. But the truth is that one of the ways of us to escape is to just change the way we think about ourselves. Change the way you view yourselves. And as you gradually do that, things will start to change. The bars in that mental prison will gradually start to open. And you'll be free. When I was about 12 years old, I wanted to go out trick-or-treating. But I didn't have a costume. I was too poor. I didn't have a costume. So my mother went out to the neighborhood and borrowed a used costume from one of the neighbors. And she brings it back, and I put it on. And the top part of it was to a Superman costume. Had the big S on the chest. And I love Superman. My favorite character. But the problem was that the pants belonged to a Spider-Man costume. My mother didn't know. They were both red and blue. So I told my mom, I can't go out there wearing this costume. It doesn't match. All of my friends in the neighborhood will laugh at me. And my Puerto Rican mother, in her broken English, said to me, let me tell you something. If you take that off, I will give you a beating so bad that Superman and Spider-Man will feel you pain. So I kept the costume on. I go outside, down the street, knock on the first door. They open up the tape. One look at me. Ah! Look what we have here. Ghetto Superman. But I felt embarrassed. And the walls of that mental prison start to become erected in my mind. I take the candy, go down to the next house, knock on the door. They open up. Ah, come here, look at this kid. It looks like Superwoman and Spider-Man Had an ugly baby. I was ashamed. The doors in the prison start closing. Knock on the third door. Oh, the gentleman opens up, takes one look at me, tries to figure my custom out. Yeah, I got it. The super spider. Wow, I never thought about it that way. The super spider. Now, all of a sudden, I start to think differently about myself. And my way of thinking changes. And I see myself in a different light. Because now, I am free. No more fear. No more embarrassment. No more shame. Prison bars start opening up. And I feel free. I felt free. But one thing is for sure. It's never too late to free yourself. My uncle died at the age of 71, 10 years ago of cancer. And when he was given his prognosis, what he did was he decided to call several family members and a couple of former friends. And he forgave those that hurt him. And he apologized to those he caused pain. And when my mother found out about this, she asked him, "How did you feel about that?" And he said, "I feel free. No more animosity, no more anger, no more pain, no more resentment. I'm free. I let it all go." And she said, "Do you regret any of it?" He said, "No. The only thing I regret is that I should have called them years ago." Free yourself from that mental prison that's holding you back. Do that now. Do it today. Because if you don't, the day will be when you're on your deathbed and you're thinking about and reflecting on your life, you're going to ask yourself one question. Why didn't I escape?